Hello, welcome to Everyday Consciousness. My name is Elaine Iwicki, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about fear. So I'll begin by telling the story of my first horror movie. I was 8 years old, and I saw A Nightmare on Elm Street, and after that I was so freaked out. I thought that Freddy was lurking in shadows, just waiting to come out and attack me, because I was too young to realize that he's only in dreams. But I thought he was real, and he was going to kill me. And it took about a year for me to gather enough data and just kind of realize through living that this was never going to happen, and to know that with confidence. And I think the same sort of thing is happening to us as a collective. So how I see what happened with Freddy now is there was a transmission from the media into my imagination, and it allowed me to have an awareness of this fictional character, and my imagination ran with it. And I think the monster, right, that was my monster of 8 years old, but the monsters now that are being transmitted to us they're more updated and somewhat more realistic. So what are they, right? Like the breakdown of society, the education system, the medical industry, pandemics, travel, the banks, the IRS, the evil group that gets together to figure out how they're going to ruin your life. Like, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, no matter what our belief systems, it's like each of us have a specific monster that we believe in. And this monster has been told to us in a story and packaged very nicely into a box of fear and handed over, and now we all have it, and we all believe in something evil and something that possibly we've never even seen, but we're sure is coming to get us. So fear, like just fear on its face, it's an emotion, right? It's a state. It's like a mood. And I notice, like, in my own life, I don't feel afraid, right? I have to do a lot of things that I don't enjoy on a regular basis. Like keeping things organized. I am not a very organized person, and taking care of people and keeping a schedule, remembering details, remembering a lot of things that are unimportant to me and doing them as if they're very important, right? This is my entire life, and I can do things as they come because I don't feel afraid. Sometimes I might feel a little irritated, but I handle everything that comes with as much peace and as much grace and as much care as I can have. And I actually make that my aim before I start responding, or before I start doing everything, or before I start doing anything. And I would have to imagine if I handled my whole life in a state of fear, that things would probably not be as good. I notice when I do anything and I'm feeling anxious or fearful, it gets done quickly. There's not a depth to it. There's not really a purpose. I don't feel good or satisfied about what I complete unless it's done and when I'm kind of in a better mood. So fear is a state. And the reason I can handle my life and all of these things I don't enjoy, but I don't feel afraid of them, is because I don't have somebody who's constantly telling me to be afraid of these things that I don't like, right? So I'm not predisposed to this idea that I should be afraid whenever I see something that I'm not going to be in love with. And I have a feeling if I was, then things would be a lot different. So we have our little, so back to the packages, right? We have our little boxes of fear with containing our own particular monster. And when we see this come up in real life, because we already have so much content in our minds, like we have so many things we think about it and so many reasons to dislike it, the way we respond is not the way you would respond to something else you don't really like. It's like, it's more of a quick reaction, and it's more of a firm reaction. And then there's also the things that we're afraid of that we haven't seen, right? Like inflation, that's something that's coming around, and the food supply, and like whatever else, right? So we're afraid of things we haven't seen, and the things we do see that we are predisposed to be afraid of, we're afraid of those too. So I have a teacher, and he has been an enormous influence on my life. And one of the things he teaches is to kind of just handle what's in your life. And I can't agree with him more. So I know that whatever comes into my life are the things I control to an extent, and the things I influence with my thoughts, my emotions, and my behavior. So as these things come in, and I make it a priority to handle any responsibility or anything that comes to me with as much grace and care and understanding as I can, things turn out beautifully and the people around me benefit. So the things that I don't influence, I don't worry about them as much, and I don't know if worrying about them would even be a benefit, right? So, for example, there's a war going on, and nobody has ever called to ask me if I want the war or anything about it, really. I don't have any influence at all. I have no control. I doubt anybody who is influencing or anybody who is involved with this war, I doubt they know my name or care about some lady, like at all. I'm very irrelevant. And I don't think it's necessary for people who are influencing it, right? People who actually are involved, people who have to make decisions, people who make their analysis. I don't think they need me to be worried about what they're doing. In the same way that I don't need them to be worried about what I'm doing. And I know that when I handle everything with care, things turn out well. And I believe that if the people who are influencing the wars also handle everything with as much peace and love and compassion and care as they're able to offer, that things will not get out of hand. And this, just by doing this, just by allowing this to be true, I believe it actually does the most good. Because where I stand, if I'm the nucleus, right, in my life, everything that's coming out of me is positive. And these people who are influencing these other things, right, if they're the nucleus and they take the same sort of attitude and the same sort of approach, then everything coming out from them will be positive. And us worrying about what each other is doing it's not beneficial, and it's not influential. So there's probably not a huge reason we should be having that sort of relationship. So that is my message for the day. My message is I don't believe that handling things from a fearful state is necessary, no matter what it is that's going on. And keeping your attention focused on what's in your sphere of control and what you're influencing on where you're needed, where you matter, is probably how to do the most good. And letting go of everything that hasn't entered into your life is probably a huge benefit in terms of your energy and your own life and the lives of the people around you. I hope this is inspiring. I hope you took something away. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.